Hello everyone. We continue with our lesson on Act 2 of Macbeth and specifically Act 2, Scene 4. The scene acts as a chorus. Now I need to give you some extra information about that for you to understand what is meant by that comment. The chorus in classical Greek drama was a group of actors who described and commented upon the main action of a play with song, dance, recitation. Now, the chorus was very passive, and that was in contrast to the actors on stage who were very active. And this contrast, the passivity and the activity, is a central concept that is part of the artistry of Greek tragedies. Now remember, in Shakespeare's time, they rediscovered classical literature, and what they learned there actually added, enhanced their writing, their own writing. The scene provides a commentary on the events thus far. The characters are discussing the supernatural events of the previous night. It was believed that when a horrible event happened, nature itself was disturbed and strange sights and sounds added to the confusion. This underlines the unnaturalness of Duncan's murder. The scene also shows us how Macbeth's schemes were successful and gives us a taste of Macduff's integrity. Act 2, Scene 4, outside Macbeth's castle. And please remember, have your text with you, right next to you, open at the scene so that you can refer back all the time for clarity's sake. Lines 1 to 10. Enter Ross and an old man. 70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings. Ah, good father, thou seest the heavens, as troubled with man's act, threaten his bloody stage. By the clock it's day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Is it night's predominance, or the day's shame, that darkness does the face of earth entomb when living light should kiss it? It is the day after the murder of Duncan. An unidentified old man and Ross are having a conversation. The old man says he can remember as far back as 70 years. He says 70. Now, a score is 20. So 70, that is 60, and then 10 added to that gives you 70. During that period of 70 years, he has seen many dreadful things, but the events of the previous grievous night make those experiences seem to be small, unimportant, a mere trifle. Ross agrees with the old man. He responds with an image of the theatre. The heavens represent the roof of the stage. Man is acting on the stage, a bloody stage. Heaven seems to threaten to destroy the earth. As evidence of this, he refers to the fact that it seems to be as dark as night, even in daytime. If you look at the hour, it seems to be day, but darkness strangles or suffocates the traveling lamp, the sun. So that is a metaphor, the traveling lamp, for the sun. And this is, of course, the theme of darkness that is shown here in this piece. He asks a rhetorical question. He wants to know if it is an astrological influence that causes the night to overrule the day. Is it night's predominance, dominant, overpowering? Or is it the day that is ashamed, maybe to show its face after the previous night's occurrences? The result is that darkness encloses the earth so that it seems to be enclosed in a grave or a tomb when it should be kissed by life-giving light. Beautiful metaphor that. And of course the alliteration, giving it the lulling, peaceful effect, which is in direct contrast to the real situation at present. There's extensive personification in this part. We have night that strangles and day that feels ashamed, and the face of the earth, which was coined by Shakespeare but today is a bit overused, and then light that should kiss, gently touch the earth. Beautiful. Lines 10 to 20, the old man continues to speak. It is unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in a pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed. Ross adds, and Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as if they would make war with mankind. It is said they ate each other. They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macbeth. The old man feels the darkness during daytime is as unnatural as the killing of Duncan. What he recounts now underscores the theme of darkness. He tells Ross how on the previous Tuesday, a falcon that was flying high up in the air, falcon is a bird of prey, it's smaller than an eagle, but the falcon was killed by an owl that was out mouse hunting. The term towering comes from falconry. He uses that for the movement of the falcon. It refers to the falcon flying higher and higher in wide circles up to the highest point that it can reach before it starts to dive down to strike at its target. A falcon can fly higher than a kilometer, 1,000 meters, and may reach a speed of 389 kilometers per hour on its downward stoop. An owl, on the contrary, can fly up to a height of only 90 meters, and it can reach a speed of about 65 kilometers, but only on level flight. So, what are the chances of an owl killing a falcon? He uses this image to show that it is highly unnatural and that the events cause disorder in nature. Ross then recounts how Duncan's beautiful and quick horses, the best, the favourite, the minions of their race, of their breed became wild, opposed their nature, and broke out of their stalls. They were totally unruly, disobedient, and looked as though they wanted to make war with man. The old man adds that it was said that they ate each other, and Ross confirms it. He says he witnessed it. These unnatural events confirm the very unnatural deed of Macbeth killing the king. When Macduff enters, Ross refers to him as the good Macduff. Now remember, a character's characteristics are reviewed through what he does, what he says, but we also get to know a character through what others report about him. In this scene, both the character witness and his own deeds bear testimony to Macduff's good character. And just a word of warning, make very sure that you refer to Macduff when you refer to Macduff and Macbeth when you mean Macbeth. We continue reading lines 21 to 27. Enter Macduff. Ross still speaking. How goes the world, sir, now? Why, see you not? Is it known who did this more than bloody deed? Those that Macbeth hath slain. Alas, the day, what good could they pretend? They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed. When Ross asks how things are, Macduff responds with a rhetorical question. Can you not see or find out how things are by looking at the events taking place, the darkness, the chaos, the disorder? Ross wants to know if it has been established who killed Clanking. And Macduff says it is believed that it was done by the servants, guards, chamberlains that were killed by Macbeth. It is as though he wants to emphasize the part played by Macbeth, that, of course, which they know of, and it hints at suspicion of Macbeth. Ross can't understand what the servants could gain from it. What good could they pretend? To which Macduff replies that they were instigated, set on, suborned to commit the evil action. They could have been paid, or they could have been incited in the manner that they thought that he was the enemy and then killed the king. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are suspected to have done the insubordination because they fled after the murder. Now let's read the rest. Lines 27 to 41. Ross continues. 'Gainst nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up their own life's means. Then it is most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth. He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested. Where is Duncan's body? Carried to Colmakill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones. Will you to Scone? No, cousin, I'll to Fife. Well, I will thither. Well, may you see things well done there. adieu, lest our old robe sit easier than our new. Farewell, father. God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad, and friends of foes. Exhort. Ross feels it is against nature to have your own father killed. Of course it is. Ambition is personified in his speech. Ambition will swallow up greedily the support of its own life. His father. The departure of Duncan's two sons now leaves a void, a vacuum of power that must be filled, because there's no successor to the throne now. Who better to fill it then than the hero of the two battles, the man favoured by King Duncan? He seems to be the logical choice. It is as though that is what everyone expects, and it is confirmed by Macduff, who states, Macbeth has been chosen and is gone to Scone to be coronated. Coronated, the crown put on his head. Scone was the ancient royal city close to modern-day Perth. Now this is Perth in Scotland, not in Australia. The Stone of Destiny, or Coronation Stone, was a rectangular block of yellow sandstone with a carved Celtic cross on it. The Stone of Scone was used as a throne and was associated with the crowning of Scottish kings during their coronation rites. Now, it is said that this Stone of Scone originally came from Egypt. The coronation stone was kept at the Abbey of Scone, but now it is in ruins. It no longer exists. There's also a myth or tradition that the Stone of Scone originally was Jacob's pillow that he used, the stone that he used as a pillow in the biblical story. Now, in 1296, the stone was taken by Edward I to England as spoils of war, where it was then kept in Westminster Abbey and used then to coronate monarchs of England instead of Scotland. At Westminster Abbey, the coronation stone was placed under St. Edward's chair, an old wooden chair, and it was kept till it was needed for coronation purposes. Now, Duncan's body was carried to Colmakill. It's also called Iona. It's an island off the west coast of Scotland and the ancient burial ground of Scottish kings. Ross wants to know if Macduff will attend Macbeth's coronation at Scone, but he replies very firmly that he will not. He will return to his own castle to Fife. Now, you must remember this will be considered to be an insult if he does not attend the coronation. He doesn't show his respect then for the new king. Macduff wishes that things at Scone will turn out to be to the benefit of Scotland. His fear for the future of Scotland seems to show that he is suspicious of Macbeth. His refusal to go to the coronation then shows his loyalty to Scotland. His character is thus revealed. He uses an image of clothing. He wishes that the new clothes, the robes, the rule of Macbeth, in other words, will fit the Scottish people well. And he expresses his concern that the Scottish people will like the old clothes, the rule of Duncan, better. You remember how Banquo commented on the new clothes that didn't fit Macbeth well, just after Macbeth heard about his title that he received, the title of Thane of Cawdor. Then they say goodbye to the old man and he wishes that God will bless them. The couplet at the end of the line contains antithesis. Now you remember antithesis, antithesis, opposite statement. And he refers to good versus bad and friends versus foes, enemies. The old man wishes that God will bless all those who would transform bad into good and enemies into friends. Benison and its synonym benediction share more than a common meaning. The two words come from the same root, the Latin benedicere, meaning to bless. Bene means good in Latin, and dicere, if you look at it, D-I-C-T, we have in diction, in word, in other words. So then it is saying somebody well, well say, speak, or good word, in the word benediction. Speaking a good word, which is essentially what a blessing is. Okay, now Act 2 done and dusted. And may you have a wonderful day. Good luck.